All right, let's talk about finding the inverse. First things first is we're going to change g of x to y. So g of x is kind of funny looking. Let's change it to y equals negative 2x minus 2. Just stick with me on that. That's just going to make it easier. Now we're going to swap in x and y. So I see y equals, I'm going to make that x equals, and then negative 2x changes to negative 2y. Copy the rest of it down. You just swap them out. Step 3 is where you really get into it. You're going to solve for y. So right now it's solved for x. We want it to be solved for y. So we want everything to equal y. So the first thing I want to do is move this negative 2 over. So I'm going to add 2 because negative 2 plus 2 is 0. So that gets rid of that. I have x plus 2 equals negative 2y. So I'm almost down to solving for y. I just need to get rid of that negative 2. So since it's negative 2 times y, I need to do the opposite. So I'm going to divide everything by negative 2. So I've got x over negative 2, which I need to, fix, over plus 2 divided by negative 2, which I need to fix or simplify, equals y. So it's in the right order now. So I'm going to say y equals now x over negative 2. I'm not going to leave a negative in the denominator, the bottom of the fraction. So I'm going to put it in front. I've got a 2 on the bottom. And remember there's an understood 1 in front of that x. So I would probably say negative 1/2 x here. You could leave it negative x over 2. That's okay also, but it's the same thing. So I'm going to put negative 1/2 x. And then 2 divided by negative 2 is a negative 1. So I would say that's my final answer. But the proper notation, because remember, this didn't start out as y equals, it started out as g equals. So the proper notation would be to say g inverse of x, because it started with g of x, g parentheses x, you would read as g of x. So g inverse of x is g to the negative 1 power of x is what it looks like. And then you just write whatever you got for your equation. All right, that's the inverse. I hope that helps. See you next time.